the Rev Mel Show. It's the Rev Mel Show.
Welcome to the Rev Mel Show on TalkingSexRadio.com. Log in to chat your questions or call 818-731-7942. And now, here's your host, Reverend Mel.
Bring it! Welcome to the Rev Mel Show on TalkingSexRadio.com, where real people talk about real sex with real kinky people. We're going to have a really, really great show, but before we start, I'd like to thank our guest from last week. I'd like to thank Dove Glass and also Pyro from PKL Industries. You know, Dove Glass is also one of our sponsors, and also one of our other sponsors is Morphine Magazine, and I'd like to thank them for sponsoring Talking Sex Radio and especially the Rev Mel Show. And then we have Secret Desires, that is our sponsor, and Logo My Ass. Today's going to be a really interesting show because we're going to do something different today. What we're going to do is we have two people that are going to be on our show, and they are published authors. You know, they know how to write. They write wonderful, wonderful stories, and we're going to learn all about, you know, writing. But we're also going to do some audience participation, which I'm really thrilled about. What we're going to do in the second half of the show, we're going to create a book on Talking Sex Radio. And we have a board that's up here, and we're going to be writing on the board. You guys in the chat room, you know, are going to be writing in the chat room, and you're going to be basically giving us characters' names, giving us the personality of a character. We're going to take and build that character up, and we're going to do the plot line, you know, and we're going to build the story. And this is going to be an ongoing thing. And what's going to happen at the end of this, we're going to publish this book with all of our names in it. And a certain portion of it will go to the people that have participated and have written a certain amount of the storyline in it. And then some of it will go, yes, to Talking Sex Radio. You got to pay for some of the little things here and there. But Talking Sex Radio will publish it. And so we'll have our first published book. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce our wonderful guest. We have my wonderful friend. We have Maria Alexerder. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we have Davie. Welcome. So we're going to sit and we're going to find out about what they're all about. So what type of genre do you guys write? I do know this, but I'm going to act blonde. Oh, I'm gray now. So I'm going to act gray.
Well, you go first. I have patented the horror musical comedy romantic.
Horror musical comedy romantic. Oh, we should talk because we want to do the Lear, the musical.
There we go.
And how long have you been writing?
Pretty much since my hands have worked properly, maybe 2. When did you get that hand-eye coordination? I don't know. Pretty much from the beginning.
Wow, at 2 years old.
Not horror, though.
Yeah, not horror.
That's a newer thing.
No, they were Barbie dolls. Yeah, Barbie and Ken go. Oh, I can't do that. I'm too young. Barbie and Ken can't go to bed because they're too young. Yeah. So, Maria, what type of genre do you write in?
You know, I write in a lot of different genres now, and I'm really kind of moving away from horror. Partly at the behest of my agent, who I make her spew coffee out of her nose on a regular basis with comedy. So, you know, I've written a lot in horror, dark fantasy, and erotica, a lot of kinky erotica. But I'm really moving forward into comedy, and it feels really good.
So, comedy dark?
Oh, yeah.
Comedy dark? I like that, comedy dark. But you both, I know Maria is a published author. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to show something right now. So we're going to get the camera back on me. She's going to be giving away a couple books. Okay. I have one of these. And it's signed to me. This is not mine. This is one of the people that are in the chat room is going to be, or in the live audience will be receiving this book. And we're very, very looking forward to it. And what type of writing is this?
It's really kind of a mix. They're mostly dark stories. There's some erotica. There's some BDSM erotica in it, but mostly dark fiction, horror, supernatural. Everybody has their own style. There are 4 female dark fiction writers who contributed to this book. We each contributed about 20,000 words, and you know, all different kinds of things. But there's definitely some kinky shit in there if that's what you like, and I know you do.
She did something at the Lear de Sade one night at Venus. She basically, we had her as a presenter on Venus, and she read almost all of the story.
One of the stories.
Yeah, almost all of it. And then she stopped. And everybody was like salivating. They wanted to know what was the ending of it. That was a great trick. And some people bought it, which is great.
Well, and the next day when I did the insight, I got a bunch of people buying the book. They came
Fabulous.
by, yeah.
Woo! Good money for
nice.
Christmas. And we've got another book, and this is really important because tell us the story about when you just got this book.
Oh, well, I just got this book today. It was released by Dark Scribe Press December 1st. It's brand new. It's called Unspeakable Horror from the Shadows of the Closet, and it's queer horror. And there's some award-winning horror writers are in this book. I'm very proud to be in it.
Queer horrors?
Queer horror. Yes, queer horrors.
Queer horrors? Explain.
Queer horrors.
Only queers, bisexual, and lesbians and gays can read this book?
No, anybody. Anybody. I mean, I was really pleased to have this story accepted because it's the first time I've written from a lesbian perspective.
Are you lesbian?
No.
Are you bisexual?
No.
No?
No.
Really? Davie, are you bisexual?
Am I bisexual? I don't really like labels. I'm open to pretty much anything as long as it fits my whim at the time and nobody gets hurt. That doesn't want to.
I like that.
Yeah.
I could hear the live audience going, nice. But don't you think... Okay, let's talk about labels because of the fact that what you guys do, you guys write. Okay? You have to explain about people in your stories. You have to develop their personality, correct? You have to develop their storyline. And you've got to develop their... let's say it's a lesbian. You've got to make it clear somehow that she is a lesbian in your story, correct?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually disagree with that. If it's important to the story, I think you do. If it's important that this character identifies herself as a lesbian, then I think it's very important. Otherwise, I think it's important that the writer knows what her orientation is so that her actions are consistent. But just because a person is a lesbian or isn't doesn't identify who they are so much as just part of their sexuality.
Same here. I mean, I don't believe in making it an issue or making it a statement at any point in the story. But in this particular story, she just says, "Oh, by the way, I happen to have had an affair with this woman."
So then that's how she was. She didn't put a label on herself, but she was able to express herself.
Very matter of fact. It's not, I mean, it's been done in different books really successfully, like Mr. X by Peter Straub. And it wasn't a gender. It wasn't I should say, a sexual orientation. But the main character of that book is black, and he never once says that the guy is black.
Wow.
So, I mean, it really should be incidental. It should drive the character's actions and behaviors. And, I mean, it should be freaking obvious. I mean, if all their boyfriends are boys or girls or, whatever, it should just be there.
Yeah, it would be like, well, I went to her and I kissed her mouth after I put on my own lipstick and I caressed my own breast. That's not labeling, right? That's getting a clear, pretty clear. Woo! Well, I don't know if anybody in the chat room or even on Talking Sex Radio knows that I'm also a published author, but I'm self-published author. Maria is a published author with agent and so forth and so on. But I have a book called The Erotic Diary of a Beverly Hills Woman, and it's all about this woman and her fun little different journeys in Beverly Hills in all these little sexual places like in Bel Air and at Chasen's and all sorts of stuff. Well, the old Chasen's isn't there anymore, but it's all about this woman's lifestyle and living the dream. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of fun to write, but it took me a long time to write this book, about a year to write this book, and it's only something I think about 225 pages. It took a long time.
The same length it takes either to write a screenplay or a book, or I mean, although either one can take years. I mean, there's no fixed amount of time.
Yeah, we're going to talk this evening. We're going to talk about writer's block. We're going to talk about all different ways of writing, and because I know there's a lot of people that are out there that would love to write, and a lot of people go, I can't do that, and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to is it dismystify that? We are going to write. Is that the
Dismystify?
Dismystify, is that a word?
I don't know, Mel.
Well, I love spell check.
You're the host. You can make up any word you want. I'm good.
That's right. It's the Rev Mel Show.
That's right.
Well, because I'm dyslexic and never mind. I've got to tell the audience what's going on. I am going into surgery on Wednesday. You can see there's this little band on me. This is typing my blood and everything, and I've got to wear this, until I go into surgery on Wednesday. And I have been working really hard, at least since February, to get the surgery. About 2.5 years ago, I lost a tremendous amount of weight. I lost about 87 pounds. I'm going to be really rigorously honest about this because it's really important. I was up to about 315 pounds, and a lot of people didn't know that. They looked at me and they were shocked. They go, "You weren't that big." I was that large. And I lost about 87 pounds. And in February, I went to my doctor, and I says, "I can't lose the rest. I want to get down to about 150. Some people say, well, that's still kind of big. Yeah, it would be perfect for me. And so I've been on this journey. I'm embarking on this wonderful journey to get this lap band. And there's a difference between a lap band and a gastro bypass, and I've chosen a lap band. I will not lose weight as rapidly as with a gastro bypass, but I will lose weight within a year's time. I should get to my goal, and I'll lose it slower. And after 5 years, if you really look at all the charts between the gastro bypass and the lap band, they lose roughly about the same. The gastro bypass may lose about maybe 2 or 3 or 4% more. But that's okay. But the people that have a lap band, they have a tendency to keep it off for a longer period. So that's what's going on. I have not eaten any food in 8 fucking days. And I can't drink any caffeine or anything with caffeine.
Couldn't. Oh my God.
Right now I can't because I'm on clear liquids. I can have coffee, but I should have had some before the show. But I'm on sugar right now because I can have sugar. So I'm on 7.
Thank God.
7-Up, and I'm drinking away. And
small mercy.
Yeah. So if I seem a little scattered tonight, it is because I've got no food in my system, and it's amazing. I went on 3 scales in the past few days. Ready for this? Each scale, and 2 of them were today. Each scale were different. So you know what? Don't believe what your scale says.
No, throw it away.
Throw it away.
It's not worth it.
The heart surgeon, he looked at it and go, "You're at this and this." I go, "Oh my God, I've gained so much weight." I went to the other doctor this morning, the one for my regular, my regular family doctor, and I went on her scale, and I was 11 pounds thinner on her scale. Wow, I really like her scale. Then I went over to the doctor that's doing the lap band. I went on his scale, and I was 4.5 pounds thinner than what was on my other doctor's scale, which was my general practice. And it was great. I love his scale. So it's enough about me. We're going to get back to our story. But I just had to tell you guys because I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and you know what? I'm going to let these girls correct me tonight.
It's okay.
Yeah,
no
it's
problem.
okay. So, who is sitting next to you?
That's Trog.
Trog, he's so cute.
He's my purse. I mean, if you go to the Lair or go to any clubs, you've probably seen me with Trog. He's my purse.
Can I see Trog?
Yeah.
Oh!
You be nice.
Oh.
That's from
Yeah. It's from Where the Wild Things Are. And he didn't have a name. Sendak didn't give him a name in the book. So I call him Trog because the band, the Trogs, wrote the song Wild Thing.
Wild Thing.
Wild Thing. I think
You make
I
my
love
heart
you.
sing. You make everything groovy. Wild Thing. It's gorgeous. I know you've had this forever since I've known you.
I know. I've been carrying one since, oh my God, since 2002 maybe or 2001.
So does Trog have its own wardrobe?
No.
It should
Although
have some
occasionally
fetish wear.
I've taken
Fetish
him
wear.
to masquerades and I put a mask on him.
Wow, I would definitely get a corset, a
Yeah.
little doll corset, stick it on there.
Aw.
Yeah, some thigh high boot. Oh, yeah, he's got thigh high boots.